Hello, everyone. My name is Hussam, and I would like to tell you about the Arabic-speaking market. Tamatam is the leading mobile games publisher for the Arabic-speaking market, but I will start by telling you more information about the MENA, the Middle East and North Africa region in general. The MENA market is the fastest growing market in the world. The market size is around $4.4 billion in 2021, and there's around 500 million smartphones. The top regions in the market are: number one is Turkey, then comes Saudi Arabia, Iran and United Arab Emirates, then all the Arab countries come later after that. My focus is on the Arabic-speaking market. There is a huge untapped opportunity in this market that most of the people worldwide don't know anything about. Arabic is the fourth most spoken language worldwide. There is 100 million Arabic smartphone users, yet less than 1% of all content available online is available in Arabic. And the region has a country like Saudi Arabia, which has the highest average revenue per paying user in the entire world. If you compare Saudi Arabia to China, Saudi Arabia is 5 times bigger than China in terms of an RPPU per user. The reason why I'm focusing on Saudi Arabia because it has most data, and we are really focusing in our company on Saudi Arabia in specific. Then comes the other Gulf countries and the rest of the Arabic market. 75% of the population in Saudi Arabia are actually active online. It is the second most profitable country in the region after Turkey. And just this year, it got into the top 20 charts worldwide in profitability. Let me tell you a little bit about the behavior of the Arabic consumer. So the Arabic language is the main language. If you go to Saudi Arabia, most of the people will choose to speak in Arabic. Even so many of them will speak in English, but they would prefer Arabic as a language. There is plenty of free time between their hands, and so much money, definitely. This is a good benefit of this market. This is a very young population. 50% of the population is under 25 years old. They are very attached to their culture. In the Gulf countries in general, if you compare it to countries like Jordan, Egypt, and other countries, you will find that the people living in the Gulf area are more attached to their culture and their habits, and they will need and still needing a lot of online interaction. So you will find the top of the grossing charts in the region are chat applications, video chatting, anything that has chatting on it. Also, let me tell you about the female consumer in Saudi Arabia. The Saudi Arabian women are considered the highest spenders worldwide. The reason behind that, they have also plenty of free time. Most of them are unemployed, and they play games, and a good amount of them will actually spend a good amount of money on playing games every month. The top of the charts in the region, I wanted to explain to everyone so you can understand the type of games that are actually very successful in the region. The top 3 games are always dominated by racing and drifting games. We have published so many racing and drifting games, and whenever you launch a racing title in the region, it will go to the top of the charts with minimal marketing efforts. Board games are gaining so much popularity recently. Casual games are good, but not excellent in the region. I will tell you later. The top grossing titles are SLG games, cards, RPG, and sports. I would say that paid games or premium games are not a good idea in the region, and the reason behind that is the region is still small if you compare it to worldwide. So the amount of people that will buy the title will be small, so it will not really cut it for you. I will explain more about the translation and localization. So because so many people think localizing a title to Arabic is just throwing the text at Google Translate and put the Arabic text, and then a disaster will happen. So whenever we start with localizing a game, we focus on the text translation at the beginning. You will need someone who really understands the game itself, so he can take the text from any language to Arabic. Graphics have to be modified a little bit, and you don't need to really exaggerate with the graphic changes. The story has to be changed. You will need to really understand the cultural elements and to remove some stuff from the game to make it culturally relevant. Now, Arabic language is a very complicated language. Most of the languages worldwide are left to right. Arabic is right to left. So whenever you do the flip, you will see the text like going crazy. So this needs to also be considered whenever you do localization to Arabic, and of course adapting culture. Also, Arabic is a very lengthy language. If you compare Arabic to any other languages, it is 25% longer than English, for example. So if you want to speak or say a sentence in English, you will need to consider giving it more space, 25% more space, so that Arabic can actually fit inside the block that you drew for it. Also, the Arabic market is, unlike, for example, the Chinese market, it's a vast region, but it has 21 countries. So it has different dialects, it has different cultures, and so many people ask us, which dialect should I focus on? And I would say that focus on traditional Arabic. So this, like the Arabic that you can read in the newspaper. This is unified across the whole region. Everyone understands it, and it is so much better and easier than going for dialects. Also, the Arabic numbers are different than the English ones. You don't need to put Arabic letters or Arabic numbers, so stick to the English numbers, it will be easier. Also male or female, because when you speak to a male, it's different than speaking to a female, and pay special attention to special characters. This image is very, very popular, that you will see it in every ad. Or everyone who tries to localize a game to Arabic, you will see that the Arabic text is actually connected. But in most of the people that try, you will see that they are separated. And it should not be. It should be like the first one, not the second one. So pay attention to that. If you see an Arabic text that looks like each letter alone, it is absolutely wrong. Also, this is a good example to show you how people localize graphics. So you start by the left picture. This is not socially acceptable, especially that you will need to differentiate. If the game, inside the game, this might be okay. No one will really care inside the game. If you are playing an RPG game and this character shows up, it's totally fine. But in the previews and the icon, this is where you should really care. Because you know that most of the people will come and see the preview, and then maybe they will not download it, but they will start bad-mouthing you. So you need to really pay extra attention to that. But when most of the foreign developers try to localize to Arabic, they will take like an extreme measure of how they will localize a character. So this is wrong, and I would say that this is wrong. Something moderate, something in between is definitely a better way to deal. Like, treat the Arabic users as like any normal user, but with some covering up for females. To give you more perspective about the market and how it's segmented, most of the region is dependent on in-app purchases, not ads. And the reason behind that is, again, it's a small market, so the payout from advertising companies is really small. So don't depend on having so huge volume and then depending on advertising. And at the beginning of the slides, I said that it has the highest average revenue per paying user as a market. So really tap into the in-app purchases. Also, similar to any other market in the world, Android is dominating the region. But whenever we tell this story, I feel that there is something wrong with telling people that it is dominated by Androids. And the reason behind that is it is actually maybe 70% of the region has Android phones, but most of them are very low-end phones. So you won't really depend on that. So if we want to have a more realistic view of the segmentation or the separation in the market, I would say it's very similar, because most of the iPhones are of a higher quality and better builds. I will share with you some case studies, some of the games that we have published and some other companies that published in the region. And this will be focusing now on racing and drifting titles. We have published 4 racing and drifting titles. All of these titles made it to #1 across the whole region in free. And they were like amazing major successes. But at the same time, you will not see these titles on the top grossing charts. Because in the region, top grossing charts are not for racing and drifting. You will rarely see anything in the racing and drifting in the top grossing charts. So many people ask us, what is there in a game that has racing or drifting to localize? It's just a racing game. You will go and just drift or steer or play with your phone, and there is no actual need for localization. And I would say that this is correct, and at the same time, it's not correct. You will say that in the games that we have published for racing, we have focused on 3 different things. So when you ever think about racing game, you will think about the Lamborghinis, the Ferraris, like a CSR type of game. People in the Gulf countries in Saudi Arabia, they actually love the everyday cars. They want to race and drift with a Toyota Corolla. And they want like the simple, everyday type of cars. The maps are driven directly from where they live and everything around them. And the special thing about music, the type of music that these people want to listen to is different. So we are introducing a different type of music that has body sounds rather than instruments. Because in some cultures in the region, they don't like instrumental music. They like this type of music. So look it up. Another case study of a cards game that we have published in the region and saw an amazing success. So this is a game taken from a Bulgarian studio called Casualino. The game is called Balut, and it's very popular in France and Bulgaria and some other countries. And for some odd reason, it's also very popular in Saudi Arabia. The thing is, when we tried to localize this game, because also there is not much to localize, we focused on different things. The rules have to be local and culturally relevant. We focused in the title of the game to use VIP, so people feel that this is a privilege to play this game, and everything around the region is articulated about being a VIP or being someone with a status. We also used an emphasis on traditional clothes and traditional music and everything music. And that showed a great success in this game. In maybe 10 months, it became #1 across the whole region in the board and card games. It's showing always on the top grossing charts, and month by month, it's increasing in success. Another good example in the region that is a phenomenal success. It's a game called Revenge of the Sultans. This game actually put the MENA region on the map. So many different companies, Supercell, Rovio, so many different companies started focusing or seeing the region after seeing this game. This is a Chinese game from a company called 1MT. It has been #1 top grossing game for the past 2 years. Continuous. And this shows you that it is possible to really localize a game and make it look like if it's very local. This game is generating $10 million in revenue per month, although I'm saying that this is a very small market, but this is like a huge step for anyone to get into the market. And I would say that the localization of the game is not really excellent. It's just good. It can be done so much better if the people who worked on the title are actually from the region and from our local. So we are looking at an amazing opportunity to get into this market. This was a glimpse of the MENA market and the MENA region. If you are interested in getting into the market, talk to me. I can give you advice. And let me know if you have any plans. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Sam. Thank you.
If you have any questions, I would be happy to answer.
Any questions at all for Sam here about the Middle East and North African market? Oh, there's one. I can see two, one at the back and one at the front. So perhaps you could take a mic to the gentleman at the back there. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm really sorry. I just knew that the conference was now. I came in a little bit late. But you have localization for your games to Arabic regions. How about you say which are the UA media platform you use to acquire users in the MENA region, sorry.
Sure. So there is a combination of things on how to do UA. The best way of doing user acquisition in the region is social media influencers. And we have been really dependent on social media influencers in Saudi Arabia, in Kuwait, in different countries to speak highly of your game, especially on YouTube. So YouTube, Instagram, Snapchat, people start talking about your title, and this will drive so many different high-quality users. In some of the games that we have done this, we had a CPI cost of around 1 cent USD. So this is a great opportunity.
Another quick question, if I may. Do you focus on specific games? I saw you have racing games and strategy one. Is there an emphasis on, for example?
Yeah, so the region's top grossing titles are SLG, RPG, MMO in general, and board games. These are the most successful titles across the region.
Thank you, appreciate it.
You are welcome.
Thank you. I think just we maybe have time. Just sir, did you have a question as well?
Yes, I do. Do I need a mic?
I'll bring you mine. Why not?
I was just curious if the MENA region has a healthy esports scene. If there isn't, is that something that you guys are looking at, or anything that you can input about esports in the MENA region?
Good question. I believe that this is still a virgin market for esports. I think that no one still touched that market. There is a huge opportunity for people to come in and establish esports, especially for localized games. So you will have like all the Counter-Strike, Dungeons and Dragons, all of these like big titles that in esports. Actually, this year, the one that won the global competition was a Jordanian young guy who won like globally. I'm not sure, but he was like all over the news and became a celebrity out of, he won like $3 million. But there is a huge, would love to touch that after.
Right, thank you very much. Well, a big round of applause, please, for Sam.
Thank you.
Listen, thank you very much.